Welcome back, everybody. Today we have a Guile character discussion, another talking point of a Street Fighter character. We have Guile. Now, I'm going to be honest right off the get-go. I'm not too much of a Guile guy. I know a lot of people like Guile, but he's always been kind of the blandest of like the original characters, but maybe talking about him right here, right now will change my mind. The first thing we're going to talk about is his design. Obviously, his classic design gets the job done. You know, he's a military guy. Give him the dog tags, he is as military as you can get. If this character came out today, I'd tell you the cut is whack, but because it came out before I was alive, that means it is iconic, so I have to respect the cut. The Street Fighter 6 design, I think, in my opinion, is just as good as the original. Both get the job done. Both don't blow my mind, but Guile doesn't in general, so the design works. I'm actually a fan of the Street Fighter 6 design. If I'm to be completely honest, I don't think I dislike any design of Street Fighter 6, so Guile gets the pass. The first thing I want to talk about, obviously, is his relationship with Nash. It's pretty much the most important person in Guile's history. Nash is pretty much his teacher, his sensei, his boss, or whatnot. But I like their relationship a lot. It's a cool dynamic because typically a character like Guile is going to be paired up with like a dumbass or like a character that, would look up to Guile. So it's interesting to see Guile's character archetype, that personality type, be the kind of little brother in the situation with Nash because Nash is just that impressive. It really puts Nash over. In the Udon comics, Guile and Nash are sparring, and Nash shows the Sonic Boom with one hand, right? And Guile needs both, and Nash is over here telling him, you're pretty much ass cheeks because you can't do the Sonic Boom the same way I can. But then Guile does the flash kick, right? So Guile's talking about how he diversifies his moveset, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, in Street Fighter V, Nash is able to like fucking teleport and use super speed and shit, but that's later, right? So Guile is more diverse than Nash is, but Nash is like stronger than he is. Now, somewhere down the line, Nash is killed. Nash is on a mission and he is killed by Shadaloo. This changes depending on what medium or what canon you're looking at. Sometimes he's just shot from a helicopter, other times he sacrifices himself and falls from a mountain, other times he's just killed. Nash has been killed by Shadaloo like 18 different ways. So this will depend, but mostly it remains the same. Guile looks for Nash, he wants revenge, all the usual. So this brings us to his rivalry with Shadaloo. His rivalry with Shadaloo is very heated. Guile is so obsessed with getting Shadaloo that in the Udon comics, he abandons his family pretty much. He's like a terrible husband, terrible father, because he's so wrapped up in trying to get Shadaloo. And I like this a lot. Later down the line, he does reconcile with his family, which is comes full circle down the line. It's a cool arc for Guile, especially considering M. Bison's defeated. It pretty much forces Guile to be like, shit, what have I been doing for the past couple years? Now, what he has been doing, apparently, is getting folded by Yuri. After Sin is defeated, Guile goes out with Cammy to go get Yuri because Yuri just got into folding Chun-Li, and Guile is unfortunately next. I'll get to Yuri when I get into my character discussion for Yuri, but Guile also gets folded. But also in Street Fighter 4, he meets Abel. I think Guile's okay. I do not like Abel, though. Abel was kind of this weird attempt for the new guy in Street Fighter, and he was just not it. Abel sucks. They have a fight, and Guile likely wins. It's implied that Guile wins the fight, and as he should. He shouldn't be taking losses to guys like Abel. But they develop sort of a relationship as well, kind of mirroring that Guile Nash, but now Abel Guile. It doesn't really go anywhere in Street Fighter 5 or 6, but that's a thing that happens. As far as his role in Street Fighter 5, we can talk about that. His role in Street Fighter 5 is really nothing major. He is kind of just like the info guy. He gives his team the information on Shadaloo and all that shit, and he really doesn't do much of anything. Street Fighter V is kind of his down point. And it's a lot of characters down point. Not necessarily down point, but nothing point, because they're all just kind of there to stop Shadowloo. They're just kind of background characters to fight the dolls, really. And that remains here. He really doesn't do anything, and his endings aren't particularly interesting either. And you'd think that would change because Nash is in this game. It's like a big deal. But Guile doesn't really have any real significance. He sees Nash and he's like surprised he's there and wants to talk to him, but the game doesn't really delve into it too deeply. It doesn't take its time with it. So, just kind of random. But what I will say is that they do reconcile with Street Fighter 6. I love Guile's role in this game. I like that he's investigating the framing of Ken Masters and he actually trusts him. I like this a lot because instead of it being like boring where everyone's like, I can't believe Ken did it, and like being forced narrative, because realistically these characters know Ken wouldn't do that. So I like that Guile knows that Ken didn't do it, considering they have a relationship because they're both dating the sisters. So I like that kind of bro relationship between Guile and Ken, and I hope we see more of it moving forward. I really do like that part of it too. Another great development in Street Fighter 6 is that Guile's able to do the Sonic Boom faster and even stronger and more easier than Nash ever could. I think that's fucking cool. Years passed and Guile's over the death of Nash. Obviously, it affected him greatly, and now he's finally in a position where he too can use the Sonic Boom with a single hand, and he could do it like a flurry, like a barrage. So Guile's gotten a lot stronger in the Street Fighter 6 game, and I think that's sick. Not everything has to be visual storytelling, and I think Guile did a great job of doing that. Not visual, but not everything needs to be told to you. I like this little detail that you pick up on. I think it's sick. So ultimately, I think Guile's fine. And actually talking about him, it did make me like him a little more. I would put him above Zangief in my like character ranking, again, like a B- or a C+. But I would put him over Zangief. I like both of them. I'm not too much of a fan of playing as Guile though, and that's probably why my feelings for him aren't the highest. I just don't think he's too fun to play as. I just felt like characters took more risks in Street Fighter 6 while Guile mostly remained the same, and I wasn't too much of a fan of playing as him, but ultimately I think Guile's a cool character. So there you go. That's my discussion of Guile from the Street Fighter series. If you guys enjoyed this, check out my other Street Fighter character discussion videos. There will be many more to come. Like, comment, subscribe, the usual stuff. You know what to do. And yeah, if you guys want a particular character to be talked about from a different fighting game or Street Fighter, let me know down below and I'll go ahead and do that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm out. Bye.